And I think we should touch some important parts of life, or you can call it business today. I think we will talk more about risks and what role they play in an individual's life, in your life. Let's not keep it to someone else. Let's talk about us. I
Exactly.
think we've gone through a lot, we've experienced a lot, and whatever we are, I think it has shaped us in some or the other
Correct.
way. Let's throw some light on it.
So before we get on to that,
Yeah.
I just want you to give a short introduction about yourselves.
Well, as you know, you probably must have seen the previous episodes before. My name is Sid, and I'm the founder at Good Day. We make delicious sandwiches and we serve a niche which is 100% gluten free. People love us, and I love serving them. And I'll be waiting to serve you.
Perfect.
How
Perfect.
about you? Obviously, we need to. Hey, Good Day, whatever digital presence, image we have is because of Spryng Digital. I want you to listen to him because he has great ideas out here, and I'm so grateful to work with him. As a brother, as a friend, we've always been supporting each other, and I think he's my man.
Thank
So,
you.
Good
Thank
Day
you.
holds a special place in our heart for David.
Thank you. Thank you. My name is Dhaiwat. I own Spryng Digital for the last 3 to 4 years. This is actually the fourth year. So, in fact, today marks the fourth year, 21st March. And I was just telling my mom this morning, it's been 4 years. And the reason I named it Spryng Digital was because I was a spring baby. I wanted to grow someone's business. And when I was
Yeah.
thinking of the name, I was like, what should I name it? It should be something that relates to me and the customer. So we serve restaurants, we've served mortgage agents, real estate agents, we've served a whole lot of industries, creating content, creating ads, social media, search engine, digital, or even printing flyers.
On the
There are
creative side.
everything
Yeah, yeah,
creative
yeah.
and technical, both hand in hand, so that you get clients, you get more business, you can leverage online market and not
Yes.
just stay in your.
Just to give you a quick example of risk, he's a classic example of this happened very recently. People may think like just leaving your current job, which made your life very consistent, comfortable, and taking a shot in life requires, please excuse my English, big balls. And the people who've done that, I have different level respect for them. Not trying to downgrade or not show respect to people who haven't. Everyone has different meaning to the risk they have
Yeah.
in life. But I think he was a very important part of the entire sales program at the Good Day, not Good Day, oh, sorry, no, Good Life.
He said good day all day.
He's played a very important role. And I think leaving and just deciding, you know what, I'm going to quit and I'm going to do my own thing requires a lot of guts. And that's what I define risk at. And your risk could be anything. It could be probably immigrating to another country, probably finding a new job, taking a shot at your career, starting a new business, planning a baby. So everything's a risk. And today we're gonna have such a basic conversation which people always take it lightly, but we want to highlight that today.
Tell us about the kind of risks you have taken from you were maybe 16. I remember the
Yeah,
stories that you share with me from 16 to all the way right now owning a restaurant that serves so many people,
yes,
right? You make definitely a lot of money
yeah,
through that business, and you're serving such a huge population, and you're growing this business within just 7 to 8 months. People are leaving reviews, you're getting good traction among social media. People are coming in and like they're like, wow, I heard about you, not just online but offline. Tell us about how you got here. Were you always like that?
I landed in Canada 9 years ago. And the day I landed, that was the biggest risk I have ever taken in my life. My parents did not fund me because they couldn't afford it. And I got a scholarship. I was really fortunate. But still, it was a risk leaving your home country and coming out here. But when the level of risk is equivalent to what the is going to be, what the outcome you're going to get in life. So I knew it. I was not happy with the surrounding back home and what I had, and I knew I deserve more. And in order to deserve more, I had to take those risks. And I was like, let's take the shot. I was privileged enough to get a scholarship from where I got all my soccer influence from, to a
So
first
you
world
didn't
country.
take any sort of loans. You self-funded your
Yes,
new journey to a new country by itself.
I knew it. I couldn't afford it. No one was ready to give money just like, hey, David, you're my friend. How much money do you need? No, it doesn't work like that. It's out of the shame as well. You just can't go to people and ask money. Respect comes first, and it's sort of an embarrassing thing. And to outgrow that, it requires a different level of
Yes.
risk taking. So immigrating was one of my biggest risks I have taken in my life, because whatever I am today is because of that. Then you have these, I define immigrating to Canada, choosing this country as my biggest risk, because you put so much effort into migrating and starting a new life out here. And then comes those small risks. I don't call them small, but I like to define them, because Canada is my hometown, and we start having these small goals. And I think these small goals have, which are also called as risk, has helped me become who I am today. It could be my leaving a 9 to 5, starting my own business, having everything sorted at work. I used to work at Nestle in 2017. As soon as I graduated from school, I got a job out there. I was getting $120,000 Canadian in 2018. And I was like, damn, I have everything sorted. Why would I quit? I asked that question to
That's the
myself.
kind of risk.
I was like, am I meant to live a life like that?
Hmm.
I felt I was living a meaningless life. In order to make my life meaningful, I had to take the risk of quitting. And I was like, I got to do this thing. And then you come to a point where the water's to the top, and then, you know what? Let's just take a shot.
How did it feel before taking the risk, and what motivates you? What motivates you? Is there's before you take this risk, what motivates you?
As I mentioned regarding having a meaningful life, representing the last name, what you took birth with, is so important for me. And I was like, none of my family members could do it, and I wanted to be the last person in the house, in my entire lineage, to break the cycle of poverty. And I was like, I'm just gonna do it. I'm ready to take sacrifice. I'm ready to take all the bullets, and I'm ready to sacrifice the comfort in order to see to it that the next generation doesn't have to go through what my parents went through, my forefathers went through. So, answering your question is, before taking the
Yeah.
shot, everything is courageous. Everything is powerful, everything, because you have things sorted. You see the bank balance,
Yeah.
you have a bi-weekly check coming in, and you know what, I just have to flip the switch and it's going to be fine. And then you take the shot.
What was the shot that you took?
Again, quitting. I was a coffee talent. I got to travel every single province in Canada.
Wow.
I got to travel every single state in US. I used to teach
Nice.
people how to sell a cup of coffee. And
Nice.
I realized this is not fulfilling. I'm enjoying the luxury of traveling and having a good pay, having wonderful people around me. But I was like, no, that's not, it's getting too easy. I was like, I don't deserve so much comfort, not yet. I was pretty young. I'm young as well right now too. But still, I just felt I need to do something bigger. Because when you get comfortable, just to let you know, as life becomes comfortable, that's the time you have to go in front of the mirror and ask yourself, is this what I'm supposed to do? Because at the end of the day, what are you? The comfort is telling you that's the devil which is sitting on your shoulder and telling you, hey, just relax. You need to take the time off. This is good. But the most important thing is it's trying to distract you from the future self. And the future self always deserves better. And I hope when you talk to the mirror, you tell him that, motherfucker, I need something better and something big. Please excuse my language, but this is how I am and this is how I'm
Yeah.
talking. I'm very honest to him as well. That's how we have our rapport, is we are very honest to each other, and we are very raw.
Correct. That's keeping clarity, keeping transparency throughout the relationship.
Before I jump in, I need to ask because you got some exciting stories out there.
Yeah.
So what, it's been how long? 8 years? 9 years?
8 years.
8 years?
Yeah.
What was risk like for you?
Coming here wasn't a risk for me because I had it all planned. Everything was fine. Coming to Canada was like, I had it, everything was planned. Everything was like, I'm going to start my IELTS, I'm going to start my college admissions, I'm going to start looking up which courses am I going to do. Everything was lined up. So that wasn't a sort of risk for me, maybe a calculated risk for people. But for me, it was like a sure shot way. I knew things are going to happen. The biggest risk, like you said, was for me was leaving my job, my
Oh,
sales
yeah.
job.
And the place where you did really good. Not trying to interrupt him, but sales is a very difficult thing. He's a natural sales guy. He's not trying to sell anything. But you go home, you realize, oh shit, I bought so many things because of this guy. So, sorry.
And you are the same, my friend. When I see you over the counter talking to your customers, you're probably selling them not just sandwich, you should try tenders too. You
Yeah.
should try this too. That's the salesperson in you. Basically, the salesperson is someone who wants to give more and have our customers not just satisfied, but most satisfied, better than expected.
Yeah.
Right? Now, for me, risk was when I left the job, and I have had no job before, where I was like, I have no job, I'm gonna do my business. And at that time, I didn't have the discipline for it. I've always looked at risk in an angle that I want something, I'm gonna go get it. I'm gonna go get it because life is too short. And if I don't do it right now, I don't know if I'll be alive until 50. People say that, oh, do you know if you're going to be alive? You should just enjoy your life right now. You should do a job for a few years and then you should start a business because you need experience. But I've had 5+ years of experience right now. You think I'm going to learn anything different? I've learned sales. I studied marketing. I've worked in marketing. I was an engineer by profession. So perfect timing is never going to happen. I was just fed up when I left my job. I was just fed up with the part that I just know how to do sales now. I started that position because I wanted to learn sales. People told me you should become a salesperson. You are a good salesperson. Then I took upon that challenge and then I was like, am I getting too comfortable? Because you can. That's why I left the job. And I knew before I was leaving, you remember those calls that I used to.
We used to have these late night calls, and he's like, it's very hard. I wish I could tell you all the talking we're doing right now is coming out of times with pain, time with no clarity, times with confusion.
You're so
Yeah.
scared. One moment you're laughing. Oh my God, am I going to do this? Am I going to do this?
Like,
And the next you're like, well, what if I fail? Nah, I don't think I'll fail. But man, it's a risk. And
true.
you should take a calculated risk. Oh my God, you just don't know how to take risks. Maybe you do. Are you taking the risk? I don't look at it as a problem. I look at it as the step before growth.
That's
Because
true.
I know if I do this, there is nothing like failure. What's the worst?
Yeah.
I like to look at this new ideology that I've accepted. What's the worst that's going to happen? There's always a job.
Yep, there's always a job. There's always the money you lose is going to come back.
Yes.
But the why am I saying that is because it builds a particular character. What do you think have you built with taking those risks? What changes did you see in your character after taking that risk?
I think I've become super more confident, which is kind of the opposite of what you would imagine. You would imagine that you took the risk and you don't have a job and you're like, oh my God, I need to make the money because if I don't, I'll be doomed. In fact, you become the opposite. You're like, bring it on. I know it. I'm ready.
Yeah.
Because I have my own time now. I'm more
Yeah.
disciplined. I'm waking up with the same thoughts that I have to get shit done. Write everything down, and then I know at least 50% of the checklist has to be done. Right now,
So it also probably it made you program your life much better.
yes, and it takes time. I didn't
Yes,
start. I wasn't like this before when I started. I was way lazy. I would watch shows and different videos, and I would just keep on watching different marketing videos. Don't get me wrong, marketing videos are not marketing videos, but I would still always just watch and watch, consume and consume, never create, never deliver, never do it actually, just consume and always talk
Basically,
about
you
it.
knew, but you didn't put any action to it. The current point is very important. You may have people who know about everything in the world. It's listen to me carefully. I know a million out there. You talk to them, they're the great people at giving advice, but in reality, they have nothing in hand. You got to be very careful of these people because these people will put your morale down. They will suck your energy and they won't let you do anything. You need people who know their shit.
Yep.
If they tell you, I know how to fix the camera, you give them the camera. If they fix it and give it to you got to keep these people with you because they know what they're doing. And there's the 95% of the category of those people. What I'm mentioning right now are the people who just know Google knowledge. They've never held anything in hand. So don't fall for this. Knowledge is great, but knowledge without action has zero value.
Talk to us about when you took up Good Day. It must be a big risk.
Yeah.
You are now gonna open a brick and mortar.
Yeah.
You would have to sign things, you have to put in money before, last, whatever. You have to bring in equipment. You definitely took a big risk,
Yes.
right? Did you ever imagine, what if I don't take this risk? What do you think runs in your mind when you see people that you don't want to be?
I don't, my immediate family members are classic example. So who have grandkids right now and they feel like their grandkids are supposed to fulfill their wishes. And I think a majority of kids nowadays, they are not living their lives. They're living their parents' dreams,
Yes.
which is, I think it's unfair for them because I just think they couldn't do it, so they want someone else to do it. So that's the thing. And whenever that thought came in, is like, oh my God, it's going to be so scary right now. I'm going to lose so much money. I have to put upfront money without any sale. The only thought which came in my mind is like, Sid, just do it. Everything's going to be okay. And my fear was like, I don't want to come out as a loser. I want to come out as a man who says it and he does it. When you commit to yourself, I think things happen. You got to take those small steps. I think what kills a dream most of the times is you start living in the future value. For example, I want to be a millionaire. You start thinking like, I'm not trying to tell you manifestation doesn't work and all, but I'm just telling you, I'm talking about delusion right now. Is in order to be a millionaire, you have to take the first step is find out and clarify an idea what you want to put it out there. So a lot of people don't take the first step, they want to take the 15th step. It's not the right way to your journey, it's a longer way.
Do you see that if you hadn't taken that sort of step, let's say you did take that step. Now,
Yeah.
till now, we were talking to people who haven't even started their journey,
Yeah.
let's say. Now, people who already started their journey are years into it. They didn't make it, or maybe they did, and now they're just relying on that past one minor success that
Yeah,
they
yeah.
had, and then they just like,
They got comfortable again, they
I,
heard their
to me,
devil, they heard the devil's words and they got comfortable. I always tell myself is like he's sitting out there
yeah,
and he's telling you to get be hey, just relax, you need to relax. I do need to relax, but only after I earn my comfort. And for me, when I started Good Day, I wanted to open something in a totally different niche. No restaurant, no cafe, doing what I'm trying to do.
that's very
Uh,
unique, actually.
Starting from a farmer's market, doing 2 years of farmer's market, and you find gentlemen just looking at you every day and start a conversation, and then you realize next week you just signed a lease with him because he's the landlord of. So
See that opportunity, right? And you just took upon that opportunity.
trust me, I was flipping pancakes and I used to do farmers market at Small Arms building. He used to come and just sit and look at me, how I'm talking to people, how I'm dealing with my customers, what vibe was I creating out there. And I knew who he was. But the thing is, I need to talk to him. One Sunday, I just decided that this guy's gonna come for sure because it's
Yeah.
been like two
You were
trips
just
now.
expecting.
And I was like, I'm gonna be the first person to say hello to him today.
Aye.
I said, hey, hello, how are you today? And then that's how the conversation sparked. He invited me to look at a unit which was available to lease in his plaza. I looked at it. I saw the opportunity out there because I knew the neighborhood. And I was like, you know what? Let's sign the lease.
Nice.
And that's what I'm just telling you. It's really hard to think like that and take decisions like that, but you still have to do it because you never know what's there for you. And he did the same thing with Spryng Digital. I'm doing the same thing with Good Daae. And I think life is all about decisions and decision making.
Correct.
And decisions and risk, they all go together, they're all tangled together. And you have to be careful and very clear why you're taking that decision.
So let's say you didn't take that risk. You lived a nice life. You
Yeah.
had a job. You were traveling around North America. You were doing really great. You were also in sales. Why did you need to do this, right?
Yes.
But you still did it. Imagine you didn't do it and you were
Yeah.
50. And would you look back and say, oh man, I just didn't do this? Or the people that I've seen, technically, like I'm saying this because I've seen people who
You are
and
meeting business owners every day.
and I still see those
Yeah.
people where they did that, where they took the risk, and yet they look back and say, oh my God, I know everything. I just know everything. My business is perfect. I don't need to take any more risks. I've had a brick and mortar. I have a good team. I have a cash counter. I have a POS. I have
Yeah.
everything that takes to take the money. I just
Yeah.
need to sell. Do you think that that's the end game?
No,
Do you think
no.
that's it? That's where it ends? That you just build a brick and mortar and then you have it and then you have it all?
That's what delusion is all about. He's talking
Yeah.
about pure delusion, that just because having like MacBook doesn't make you a creative head.
No.
You gotta know how to make use of the MacBook. And I wish I could talk about the brand you were mentioning today. Having a stubborn owner or a business operator, it's so hard to deal with. And especially businesses like his.
The thing that's one of the major problems I see with business owners. They do have a settled life, but they just are afraid to take that next step. And so is a lot of other business owners. But I have developed this
Mhm.
quality living with you. I have started developing, or I always had it, but I just forgot it for like 8 years. And I saw you, we started working together, and I picked up that one skill, which is what is the worst that's going to happen?
Exactly.
Just do it. You talked to me about it, just do it. I love that part about you because I used to be like that. Faster. Like just do it. We'll see what the results are. It's not rocket science. You just have to have something to sell someone. That's
Yes.
it.
It's
Just have
demand, it's economics, it's demand and supply, and be consistent what you're doing.
exactly. So that
Yeah.
simple as that. Yet people confuse themselves with the fact that I have everything settled. I don't need to do anything more than this. That's hidden risk because the moment you stop taking any more risks, the moment you stop growing is when you're stagnant. And stagnant water has algae,
Yeah,
grows algae. The water that's flowing, a river never has algae,
that's true.
right? Even when I'm doing the sales calls with them, I'm trying to close them and trying to explain them only one thing. You don't take this risk right now, you're only gonna kill your dream. You're not killing anybody else's dream. You're just killing your own dream. You need to take that risk, man. You just don't have any other option. What other options do you have? If your good day is working right now, you're getting some gluten-free people. Let's say we stop posting content, we stop
Yeah.
doing ads, or we just do, or let's say we still do the content. Do you think the world still remains the same?
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
Do you still not have to check what else is going on in the market? People stopped using phones, let's say. People stopped, there was a big rally, everybody started banishing
Yeah.
social media. They were like, I
No
don't want to
social
use
media
social.
just like ban this
What
thing.
would you do after?
I would go like the original old school, get flyers, do door
No,
knocking.
but now you have to start thinking in that time and age. Would you look at this as a risk or would you look at this as an opportunity?
You have to be the change. Change is me. Your business, your actions are going to get you something in life. Back to like
Yeah.
risk we were talking about, I had a question for you. Do you feel fulfilled now after taking the decision of harshest risk you've ever taken?
I think risk makes you alive. Risk
Mm,
makes you alive. Or at
that's so
least it
true.
tells you that you're alive. You take the risk and you feel like, yes, you're alive. You race your car. I'm not sure how many times I've done that, but
Yeah,
race your car and then you feel alive. That's that thrill.
true, true,
Life is about thrill. If you don't have any thrill, you're probably dead,
true. I agree
right?
with you. Yep.
To me, whenever I've taken those risks, I think it's more freeing. It's so much more freeing. When I left my job, I was like, let's go, man. What's there to think about as a risk? If you know your skill, you just have to go find clients. But if you didn't take the risk, you're sitting there and imagining to yourselves, what if I had taken the risk?
Yeah, yeah. You need to take action. That's
Take
what you
the
do.
action.
Take the action. If you feel like do it, you gotta be respectful. Talking to your point, understand why you couldn't do that.
Yeah,
You gotta
different
be
situation.
respectful
Yeah,
as well, and you have to be knowing if it's the right time for
right
everything,
time,
right?
exactly.
And
That's the regret that comes with
yes,
it,
yeah,
right?
that's what I was gonna tell you. Is you did not when you got home, you were like you completely thought about it. Everything was just a one hello away, right?
Now think about those business owners that don't want to adapt to the new change in the world. And they're like, oh, but it's going to be expensive change. Think about your own business. You have to change for some reason.
Yeah, hard, but I would still choose. Hard decisions have made us grow so exponentially right now. Like growing with like 300 followers every month, organically doing basic stuff and like being consistent. It's only possible if you take those actions and those risks and those decisions which take you where you want to go. Thank you for your time today. If you are listening, I want you to know like don't practice anything what we talk out here. We're just putting stuff out there because I want you to relate this to just a regular conversation you're having with your friends.
This is a very small
Yeah.
channel. We don't mean to do anything apart from just putting the word out for our younger and older selves too.
Yeah.
Our ask is share this with a friend that is also just as motivated as you, or you want them to change.
Yeah.
And we see
You need to send it to someone whom you really count on that he's gonna do
we
something
don't
good.
care about you
Yeah.
liking,
Yeah, yeah.
subscribing,
It
anything.
really doesn't matter.
We just want you to share it with a friend who can get something out of this, a
Yeah.
real sort of value, nothing else.
Have a wonderful evening.
Yes.
And about us, pray for us. And I'm gonna pray for you.
Yes. All the best. See you soon. Bye bye.
Take care.